Alrighty, welcome everyone. Hello, my name is Alexa, and today, in preparation for our amazing event, the Professional Yogis, I have Roshini here, a yoga teacher from Sydney and a good friend of mine. We met each other in a course we did together, and Roshini is a full-time teacher, and today I will ask her a few questions about her life as a teacher and her journey. Roshini, first, talk about yourself, introduce yourself. We would
Hi
like to
guys,
know.
how are you? Thank you for having me, Alexa. It's exciting. I am based in the eastern suburbs in Sydney, so right out by the beach. I'm a full-time yoga teacher, teaching around 13 to 15 classes a week.
Mm-hmm.
And I teach mainly at a studio called the Living Room in Coogee, which overlooks the whole ocean. It's pretty beautiful. I'm just try and really embody living yoga both on and off the mat. So,
Tell us, I mean, the most important question I always get asked is, what's your style? And, what's your style? Do you have a style? I love that question.
I had a conscious vinyasa, so quite an alignment-focused vinyasa class. So still with the flow, but quite a strong focus on alignment and just keeping that safety within the body first, and from that safety and alignment, then we're able to just have that fluidity throughout the class.
Nice.
And
beautiful. Sounds beautiful. Sounds like I love it too. Okay, so tell us about your journey. So when we first started out, you weren't teaching full time, and I remember I met you, but we didn't know each other then, in the Bondi Lululemon store. So,
oh wow, yeah, that's a while ago.
Yeah, it has been a long time ago. So when did you decide to become a full-time yoga teacher, and why?
It happened actually quite organically. I always thought that I just wanted to you could say that ego and fear kept me trapped in a thought that I wanted to be a part-time whatever I did on the side, and then part-time yoga teacher. Until things just started to show up and more work became available, and I had to start slowing down. At that stage, it was at Lululemon, I had to start slowing down my shifts, and there was just more of a pull and a gravitation to full-time yoga teaching. And this security of a weekly paycheck, kind of knowing what I'm going to get week to week, to having to let that go of kind of conditioning around money was my biggest fear. But taking the leap and really stepping in and trusting that there will be a support, and that is, if this is my dharma, this is my calling and my offering, and I'm meant to be sharing this message in this beautiful linear of yoga, then I will be supported. So the trust, stepping into a trust to go into the full-time teaching was that's how that's how I kind of stepped into it full time.
Yeah. Sounds beautiful. And that would have been my next question. What were your first, the doubts, the fear you had around this, like teaching full time? What were your biggest obstacles to overcome apart from money?
Yeah, obviously the money. The comparison of who am I to have enough work compared to a lot of even my senior teachers or teachers that I would have put back then, and even I'm quite a pedestal above me. So the comparison of like, how am I going to get chosen to work at a studio over these teachers? And there's a lot of yoga teachers out there now, and there's and then there was then as well. That was just over a year ago that I started full time. So I think the comparison of, I'm not a good teacher. Who am I to get work? Do I know enough? And then the money as well. So
So and that's so common, isn't it? Like I have that with many of my clients. I hear that from, and I had that as well. And as well now. I moved to a new city, and for me it was also like starting new off, going to a new studio, saying hello, getting a new job. So I can totally feel into that. So tell us, how were the first few months for you? How
Full
did it
time?
feel? Yes, yeah. Did you teach a lot, or did you kept it at bay? I think you've got a very healthy time. I heard of teachers, they had 25 lessons per week, which I think it's a lot. It's a lot.
To me, that's just screams burnout. But
yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely.
But each to their own. Each has their own, I suppose, financial reasons.
Yes.
And I think there's no right or wrong with how many you do, but you do start to figure out your kind of limit within a day. So there was a stage last year, there's a couple of days where I would have been doing 4 classes. I think the most I've taught in a day is 5, and that's a no-no. 4 is four is my absolute limit, and three is manageable.
Yeah.
But at the beginning, I eased into it. I think because stepping into full-time teaching, I had classes that I already had and then I had to start to build those classes upon.
Yeah.
So now I'm more or less at a point where I can be more picky with what I choose. But at the beginning, I did say yes to a lot of covers. I was still at a lot of quite a few gyms. Spread amongst different studios. I tended to be driving around a lot and exerting a lot of energy, and then not really practicing as much as I should have been. But and then not giving to the students from that.
Yeah. So. And what was the turning point? When did you slow down?
I had a surgery last year.
Okay, I remember that, yes.
And leading up into that, I still worked quite a lot just to try and have savings in the account to help support me through that time. But after that process of being forced to literally slow down, stop, no practice, no movement for a good 3 weeks, taught me the lesson of less is more, and that it's not always about the rush and the having more money in the bank. The more you have, the more you spend, but the less you have, the more you save. It's weird, but just that this year I was like, I just don't want to take that busyness and that stress, and then I'm like into this year, and then I realized that by slowing down and having more space and giving to myself, and I'm able to give more to my students, and I'm actually practicing and living my yoga experience.
Beautiful.
Last year was still living it, but with so much yang energy, I didn't have this balance between the two.
Yes.
No space. So
beautiful. You speak really like it sounds very profound as an insight for you. For a starting yoga teacher, or someone who's just starting out and steps into the world of teaching full-time or even part-time, what would be like a good tip, 2 or 3 tips for them you could give?
Go to as many different styles and teachers as possible to be inspired and to stay open. I'd practice in gyms and on friends, depending on what you've done beforehand, before trying to, really step into a studio. If you don't have that support network in the studio. So practice at gyms and take your time. It's your journey. If someone on your teacher training is teaching and they're full-time and they're gung-ho, and you're still just teaching friends at home in your lounge room, don't play the comparison, the jealousy game. Just take your time. It's your individual journey.
Yes.
And you're really, when you finish your teacher training, I kind of think that's really when your yoga begins.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's an awesome advice. Thank you so much. That was
You're very
beautiful,
welcome.
beautiful. And just to finish off, your website is tulaliving.com.
.com.
So TULA
Living.
living and then .com. Fantastic. And I would suggest for everybody to check out Roshini and also to go onto her Instagram account, because I love her over there, because sometimes there's some really beautiful, honest reflections coming from a yoga teacher, and for you, you're mentoring as well, don't you? So it's beautiful. If you're starting yoga teacher wants to grow, you can learn a lot from Roshini. So
thank you.
I'm so glad and I'm so thankful for you being here. And thank you very much.
You're very
Have a lovely
welcome.
day, everybody. Bye.
Bye.